So, it's like 2:15 when I pulled in.
Huh?
Okay, alright. Okay, alright, today, here's what we're gonna do. I wanna do your practice guide. Did everyone receive a practice test yesterday? Everyone's got one, right? Everyone was here. Was anyone absent yesterday? I think everyone was here, correct? Everyone's got one? Okay, now, if you don't have it, let's say you left it in your locker, you left it at home. Just take out a piece of paper, put all your answers on a separate sheet of paper. You can transfer it to it when you get a chance and you find it, okay? This practice guide is due on Thursday when we take the test. So you actually have to have it filled out. Now we're gonna go through most of it, or at least half of it today, half of it tomorrow. This is what your test looks like. All I did was go in the book and pull the different problem from that page that problem was found on. Because these are all homework problems. I didn't like make up a new one. Okay, I just pulled it right out of the book. Does that make sense what we're doing? So it's literally gonna look like the same format. You might even go, word, is this the same test? It's not, the numbers have changed once you get to the test. But you get the idea. All right, calculator. If you need a calculator, go grab one. So I'm gonna ask for different numbers. So do that now, if you haven't already. Perfect, yeah, I'm gonna use that. Forgot all that. Nope, that was good thing. Good.
This was like the easy thing I've ever done.
All right. Okay, yeah. Was there all 10 back there when you guys were grabbing? All 10 was back there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, now, I'm gonna flip through this really quick. So what you have here is your practice guide. Obviously, when I look at the questions, you have weekly wages, annual wages, total number of hours worked. You have your total wages if you're working overtime and double time and holidays. Story problems, figure out your total earnings. This problem is your piecewise, figure out what you get paid for the wages of making a bunch of products. What you're making per year. I'll give you a chart when we get to this. What your yearly earnings are, if you get a salary, like a paycheck, on this time frame. Commission rates, and then the last one is this net pay, which is a question that we've been leading up to. We haven't had any official homework problem on it. So number 10 is like an extra problem on it. It's not extra credit, it's a problem that we're mixing everything together to do one problem, if that makes sense. Okay, this is like the whole goal of why we were doing all this stuff. Okay. So, now obviously if you look, there's 10 questions. My goal today, literally, not joking, is just to get through problem number 5. I want to get through the first page today. Does that make sense? Like 5 problems. Once we're done today, tomorrow we do 6 through 10. Thursday's your test. That way you can see each one. And I want you to get a feeling for how to do it, what the answer is. So that way you're not like stressed, like how do I even do this? I don't remember how to do it. You get to see me walk you through it. Now this practice guide is one of those rare ones. We are literally going to walk through every problem together. I usually don't do that. Usually I give you this thing a couple days in advance. We might go through 1 or 2 problems on here, but then this is like a worksheet that you just kind of do so you get familiar with how to do it. Okay, we are going to turn this in. Don't crumble it up, don't throw it away, don't lose it. I grade this. It is a homework assignment for the week. So it's due Thursday, but we're literally going to do it in class together. Got it? Okay, let's walk through it. So number 1, hourly rate and hours worked. So we have a certain hourly rate and you're working 38 hours this week. The hint, you are just multiplying these two numbers together. You are literally taking 756 on a calculator times 38. That's how you do it. The hours times what you get paid per hour. What's my number? What do we get? 902. 51.
290. 287.
We're getting way different numbers. 756 times 38. I'm getting 287. You want to double check on the calculator? Maybe you typed in something. Maybe something was typed in your calculator when you typed it. So 287. 28. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here's the idea. What I would do, just because this does happen, right? Somebody might have typed something in my calculator beforehand and you didn't know it. They've already typed a couple things, hit the plus. Then you came and looked at the calculator and said, oh, it says 0. You type in your problem, hit enter, and you get a weird number. What I would do your problem, write it down, check it a second time, and see if you get the same number. Does that make sense? The reason why, I'm not joking. It does happen. It's nothing. It's no one's fault. It's just one of those things you do have to check. Okay, because here's the thing. There's no other way of like showing your work here other than column method. And you're stacking numbers and you're showing all the work. Otherwise, I'm trusting that you know how to type that in and the calculator's giving you the correct answer. Because it will happen, it will give you incorrect stuff if there's stuff previously typed. Okay, make fixes, do the double checking. All right, let's go to number 2. Okay, this is your hourly rate. We are going to work 40 hours a week for 50 weeks of a year. I will provide you both of those numbers. These will be printed on the test, the 40 and the 50. So what you're going to do is you're going to multiply those out. You're going to take your 975, you're going to take it times 40, and then take it times 50. The reason why you're doing that, this will give you a full 40-hour work week, and this will be a full year, 50 weeks of a year, 2 weeks vacation. What are we getting?
19,500.
19,500? Yeah. Even? Ooh, that's nice. Okay, let's double check. Did everyone get this?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to type it in just to double check that we're getting it right. Times 50. Boom, we're getting 19.5. If you didn't get that, double check it. Okay, again, on this problem, there's really no other way of doing it. I would type it in twice. I know it seems stupid. Type it in twice in your calculator. Make sure you're confirming it's getting the same answer every time. All right, let's go to number 3. All right, number 3 is the one where you have to do punch in, punch out, figuring out your total hours worked. You have to do military time if it goes to the afternoon. On this one, you do have afternoon hours. So in the morning, you're going 11:30 to, 8 to 11:30. Now, if you would like to count with your fingers, I'm totally fine with you doing that. Just write down what you're doing. So like 8 to 11:30, that's 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 3.5 hours. So 3 hours, 30 minutes, right? If you want to do it that way, so 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, you can count with your fingers. Now, if you don't like that, maybe that does not compute with you, you can't do that. Just take the bigger number, put it on the top, and subtract the bottom. Bigger number on the top, later in the day on the top, earlier in the morning on the bottom. When you subtract, you have to make sure the top number's bigger. So that's 0, that's 3, 11 minus 8 is 3, so it's 3 hours 30. So it will give you the numbers if you subtract. Okay, now, military time in the afternoon. If you add 12, so if it's anything past noon, you have to add 12. So this turns out to be 1740. And this is 1230. You have to subtract these two numbers. Now, some people can just count, 1230 to 130, 130 to 230, 230 to 330, 330 to 430, and keep going from there and just go, it's like so on the hours of 10 minutes. But if you want to subtract 1740, you're going to take away the 1230. You subtract, that's a 0, that's a 10. 17 minus 2 is a 5, 1 minus 1, so it's 5 hours and 10 minutes. Okay, so far so good? Final answer. You have to add the afternoon hours to your morning hours. So it looks like I'm going a total of 8 hours and 40 minutes. We add it up total. The only thing I'm actually worried about is if you had to borrow. So I didn't give you any examples here, but if you had to borrow from like the afternoon, let's say you're going from 12:45 and you're getting off at 2:13. This one you're gonna have to like do some serious borrowing. I know that this number turns out to be 14:13 because of the military time. You add 12 to it, and this is 12:45. But when you actually subtract, the top number has to be later in the day, and you can't subtract this. Like, you can't do it, because you're gonna borrow. So you're gonna have to borrow from the hours, making that 13 hours, and you have to add a 60 to this one. So this actually turns out to be 73 when you add 60 to it, because you're borrowing for an hour at 60 minutes. So I'm gonna borrow from the 7, making that a 6. This is now a 13. 13 minus 5 is 8. 6 minus 4 is 2. 13 minus 12 is 1. So it's 1 hour and 28 minutes. Like, if you have to borrow from the hours, you have to add a 60. If you borrow from minutes, you can add a 1 over. Does that make sense? Question?
No.
Okay. So if you borrow from hours, you have to put 60s. Just make sure of that. I didn't give you any of these right now on this, but it could be on the test, because there was a couple in the book that we did that actually had to do that. So be careful. If you were in the book and you're looking at these types of problems, Because again, these are homework problems, that's all I've done, I just pulled homework problems. I'm picking one from the book, I'm not making up something new. I'm literally gonna take the homework problems that you've done, and that's what goes on the test, to show that you actually understand what you're still doing. Questions with 3. Perfect, moving on, number 4. Number 4, computing total wages. Keith is earning a certain price per hour. He is working 43 hours from Monday to Friday, and 6 hours on Sunday. So, he's obviously working overtime, because he went 43 hours, but he's also working Sunday, and up above, I have that little hint, anytime you work a holiday or Sunday, we're considering that double time pay for this particular gender, okay? So, what you have to do, separate the overtime hours. He's working 40 hours normal, 3 hours overtime, and then also 6 hours on Sunday. So these are my normal pays numbers for his week. I'm separating them out for that story problem. 40 hours at the normal 1042 rate. So you multiply those, that'll be the price of his normal work week. The 3 hours is time and a half. How do we do time and a half again? Yeah, you take what you make per hour, and you take this number times 1.5. That number, when you multiply by 1.5, that's the number for normal overtime, regular overtime, right? On extra numbers on Friday or Saturday. So anything past 40 hours is overtime. So 1042 times 1.5, 1042 times 1.5, that's 1563. So you're going to have to take this number times 1563. Again, how I got that number is taking his 1042 times 1.5. So that's his overtime. Now double time pay, well obviously with double time you're just doubling his price per hour. So that's $20.84. That's the price, that's double time. That's your 1042 times 2. That's how I'm getting that number. Now, you're going to get all 3 numbers. Get this answer, get that answer, get this answer, and then add up all 3 for his total. I do want to know the total in the end. How much money do we roughly get in the end? This is a pretty big chunk. Say again?
588.
588, somewhere in that ballpark. If you didn't get that, double check it.
No.
Is that right? Sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you didn't get it, double check. Okay, because I've literally given you the numbers. I have to do multiply them, whatever those 3 answers are at. Okay, the last one, John is waiting tables. He's getting paid $6.75 an hour. He's working a 40-hour work week. He's also making so much money in tips. What's his total earnings? Well, you take his price per hour, his pay per hour. He's getting paid pretty good for being a waiter for 40-hour work week. And then whatever this number is, you're going to add it to his tips. And that'll be your total. So again, $6.75 for 40 hours. I have no idea what that number is. And you're going to add it to the 310. 675 times 40. What? 580?
50 cents.
Yeah. 580. Yeah, 50 cents. There you go. Okay. Questions. Now, my goal today. Your goal. Get down 1 through 5. Go check those answers. Double check. Check with your neighbor. See if you did them right. That's it. That's all I want you to do. Get down with numbers 1 through 5. We had homework yesterday. That was the page. There's 2 different pages I gave you yesterday, or was it just one?
Just one.
Just the one. It was page, was it 18? Probably. So I have it written down. I gotta put it on the board still. Let's see, where did I put it? It was, page 21. So it's page 21, that's due tomorrow. I think most of you are already turned in, but it's due tomorrow. This is due Thursday. Obviously, we're doing the second half tomorrow. That's it. Nice and easy to do.